Hello YouTubers, this is the Noobifier. Welcome to my no bullshit video on flight modes. I bet even the veteran pilot's gonna learn something today. I sure did. The ship has 6 degrees of movement. Pitch, roll, yaw, left, right, up, down, front, back. Star Citizen gives you full control over these movements with the 6 inputs that can be bound in the options menu. They need to be bound separately for decoupled and coupled modes. Star Citizen has coupled movement set by default to simplify navigating in space. The pilot may elect to decouple or go Newtonian at will. Sir Isaac Newton showed us that an object at rest tends to stay at rest, and an object in motion tends to stay in motion. A resting object in space requires a push forward to move and needs an equal push back to cancel that motion. Being coupled, in the very simplest of terms, means that the ship will automatically apply thrusters to make the craft seem to quote-unquote fly in space. The computer will take the pilot's inputs and automatically apply the force so that the craft can be managed more easily. You can clearly see the effect on the Hornet. The thrusters seem to have a mind of their own, but the ship moves where it should. Decoupled turns off that system, and then the craft behaves like any other rock in space. When decoupled, no system will try to interfere with your momentum. If you're moving in a direction and want to go the other way, you must decide what combination of thrusters you need to do to manually execute that course change. This requires some practice, and flying full Newtonian is considered quite elite. When coupled, it still takes a thruster to change direction, which is why you may experience significant drift in a heavy craft with small thrusters. You'll be able to see handling differences as more cargo and ordnance are added to the craft. The system isn't fully implemented yet, but it's coming. The computer translates your input into thruster outputs and tries its very best to keep your ship going where you want it with the available thrust. You can decouple to perform some very sick maneuvers in dogfighting or when you require some specialized craft piloting. ComStab is the Command Stability Flight Control subsystem. It's an even more aggressive computer mode than being coupled. Its sole function is to make the craft carve a turn in space. The system will not allow any drift by ensuring the velocity never exceeds the maneuvering thruster's capability. The fastest possible turn without the drift. This mode is very useful in certain situations such as piloting an asteroid field where drift is extremely dangerous. The best way to demonstrate this effect is by going in a constant circle with and without ComStab. There's a circle in the HUD that represents the direction of your travel. When ComStab is off, that circle is all over the place. With ComStab on, the computer keeps the drift controlled by limiting speed. I would never use this in a race, and I would personally never use it in dogfighting. I'm used to the drift, and I actually use it to keep my guns on target while dancing around objects. Try it out for yourself, it may be very useful to you. G-Safe tries to stop you from doing something dumb. If the ship detects that you're about to do a high G-force maneuver that would flat out knock you unconscious, it'll dull the input in an attempt to keep you coherent. There will always be times where the system is unable to prevent a blackout, but the system does work very well. The trade-off is that the ship could be more maneuverable with G-Safe turned off, but depending on the ship, turning it off may make it extremely difficult to fly. Some pilots switch it on and off to get an advantage in dogfighting, risking blackout over outperforming the enemy. Boost, as the name suggests, increases the output of the maneuvering thrusters until the boost fuel is depleted. You can use it to quickly accelerate to speed, or more often than not it's used to return to speed after a radical course correction. It's critical in dogfighting and more complex maneuvering. If you think you're about to drift into an asteroid, boost can actually save your ship. Brakes work when you're coupled or decoupled. Hitting the brakes will activate whatever thrusters are needed to stop your ship. If you're about to crash into something, hitting the brakes will stop you as quickly as possible. Afterburner is fairly new for Star Citizen. It accelerates the craft faster than normal by using boost fuel. It also pushes the top speed higher than standard when activated. It's different than boost because it seems to only relate to the larger main thrusters. It's hard to know for sure because it's difficult to test. The game is still being balanced and I don't think they're finished yet. Afterburner is really effective in Arena Commander to get in and away from combat quickly. ESP or Extra Stick Precision was discussed in the targeting video, and if you're interested in that, it's linked. Don't forget about the contest. When we hit 1,042 subscribers, the winner gets chosen. If you feel like I missed a part, please let everyone know in the comments so we can all benefit. The community has been really supportive as I try to improve the quality of the content. Please help me get the word out about this great game by liking and subscribing for more, and I'll see you in the verse.